Yes, Brother Ta, thank you for making those salient points. This is Pride King. Listen to me. Um, you get to backtrace for understand why this revolution lose actually course. It lose its course because of panic, of panicking, of rushing. Yes, the revolution is actually egocentric. The leaders, they be actually use them. The so-called leaders, I correct myself, they use them like a launch pad for their political capital. That's why you can't talk about individualism. Individualism it exists much easier when there's no bedrock of collectivism. You understand what I'm saying? We haven't got a proper bedrock of collectivism, which actually is what triggered off the revolution in the first place. By 2017, there was polarization and, you know, crystallization of different schools of thoughts into different direction, which is what created the divide that keeps on propagating today to very complex realms. That is what is happening. But there's something, for example, like Smoke Man just talk. The revolution started without a defined leadership. Okay, the person where we point and actually give symbolism of this revolution was this guy called Mancho Bibixi, who as a matter of fact has been despised and relegated to the background and actually is now being studied by scandals. We will not know whether or conspiracy or not. The lawyers and the teachers where they be actually go on strike, they be go on strike for their what they call trade unions. The teachers went there to fight because the francophone teachers were actually infringing into the classroom, so they were losing their own grounds. The lawyers also did the same because the francophone law system was infringing into the law courts. You see what I'm saying? So these two groups were fighting for their well-being. They were fighting for their own opportunities. But Mancho BBC was fighting for the Gary boys' interest. And the Gary boys' interest was never anything important in our society. It has never been in the black man society to look at the people suffering down there in the grassroots. No. Why? Because we actually cultivate a culture of elitism. We love elitism. The black man loves elitism because he has been destroyed by slavery and colonialism. So he always want to be at the level of a colonialist or a slave master. That's a typical bitter truth of the black collective society as a whole. Okay, if you look at this revolution from that standpoint, you go realize why the real issue that we went to fight for has been actually distorted, and now people they don't focus and crystallize themselves into what, into their little monolithic groups where they don't even get results, they don't get resources, they don't get plan, they don't even understand the sophistication of the enemy. That is a problem. If you ask each and every leader, tell me basically a summary of your plan, it will be dumbfounded because first of all, none of them no get a solid base of resource mobilization. And why? Because they don't get a solid base of popular mobilization. The only thing where it mobilize people them for every society now their societal concerns. A man where they from Campbell, you not really know what a man where they for Dibuncha they suffer from because they from two different regions, but they get some common denominators. Say they've been neglected, relegated to the background, and maybe they under a typical political stifle, or if it be dictatorial. Okay, let's take that one like our common denominator. Will take us to the fight. Okay, but I want to tell you something. Those leaders, when they become up and they are still dreaming of having a national army, of having a national whatever, where they don't get external third party sponsors, they don't get resources, they don't get a real grip on the popular mobilization before we talk about the resource mobilization. We'll take a Jangi, for example. Before we want contribute money for Njangi, we now first set up the Njangi group for know exactly say, this person is credible, this one is credible, and we know it very well, and we know which side it come from. So we create the group, and then we put the basic rules of the Njangi, and then we decide how much money we put and pay month, and then we put them for a month. Then they call and say popular mobilization, and then resource mobilization. For using money now for the Njangi for do something, that one will come now afterwards. The Ambazonian collective lacks this because each and every person wants to tap the soft spot of the population emotionally for get resources and control them for your own way, so that if you get a freedom, then they call and say, wait, political hegemony, financial hegemony. And because the market is small, all the groups them actually claim for go to Boya, and they get different intrigues. So what did I say? That is promise the people the same thing but different processes. At the end of the day, intrigues that come in, people start cheat each other, and then we go to what they call moral hazards, which means once beaten, twice shy. When people don't lost money in the process many times and over, it'll be difficult for them to even put money again for a genuine process. So if you understand right now why even for this $1,000 within the Ambazonian collective is very difficult, because the leaders they don't abuse the people them. You see, the people now would prefer to get into a kind of what they call a collective implosion. They would like to go back into their origins, and their origins now the place where they come from, the place where you call them home for Ambazonia. Even if you man they born in about Cambe and you see in Cambe like your home, me I will talk say na the home that where you belong to, because you know say your home that, and the neighbors know say you're a person from that place. Okay, let's start by accepting our origins. Where do we come from? Where do we call home in Ambazonia? And see how we feel actually, bring back that popular consciousness within the communities that we are known and can be vetted. If I walk into a place today, for example, Manfi, anybody will take me like a thief because nobody knows me. But if I go for a place where they know me, they will know me. If I've not been a criminal, they will know I've been a criminal. Now, me now, I'll know how for get to my community, ask for excuse, show them a good civil, whatever character, so that they can build back trust in me. There is no quick fix. Ambazonia will fail if we don't respect the basic tenets of popular mobilization. Thank you. This is Pride King. And Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance, 2021. Thank you very much.
Good evening, comrades. This is Comrade Derric. I'm listening to this audio by Senior Comrade PK in December 2020, and my eyes are filled with tears because it's been 5 years. It's another December 2024, and we are virtually standing on the same place. The same advice that Comrade PK gave in December 2020, it still applies. It still applies today. We still have multiple people all claiming to be representing Ambazonia, and no one can show a clear mandate of how they got to representing Ambazonia, but they're all claiming. And it's still an ego trip for all the groups, their inner circles, and their leaders, where it's their way or the highway. There's still no semblance of anything in this struggle that shows it belongs to the people like it did belong to the people in December 2016. It's a shame when you turn around and you look at the caliber of people in terms of education, in terms of experience, in terms of longevity in the struggle. We've been in this thing this is the 7th year and counting, all that experience, and we still are so blinded by our ego. We antagonize each other at every given opportunity, and we are just not able to engage with each other in a way that's mature enough to say these are people whose people are dying. A couple of things that PK highlighted in 2020 that I think would remain true today and even in 2030 if we keep at it the way we are going. Because if we keep going like this, probably 2030 would still be at it, would still be fighting who's the leader and who is doing what. And one of the things that PK highlighted is the semblance of urgency, where at any given moment, uh, everything is presented like it's urgent. If it's not done now, the struggle would, fail and all of that. That semblance of urgency in that moment, that is where the fraud always happens. The that is where the fast one is always done. A fast one is always done on the people. Let's just do it. Let's just do it quick. There's always that lack of processes that can ensure accountability, that can ensure responsibility for participants or stakeholders in anything. That urgency, it's the core problem that has destroyed whatever the fundamental philosophy that drove the coffin revolution was. And it's one thing that I believe that we can still restore. In 2020, when Comrade PK made this presentation, the boss, the train that was leaving at that time was county by county. And he made a powerful call that if everybody just leaves all these illusions, all these illusional structures, and we all just fall back to our various counties where we come from, because it will be easy for people to identify themselves. It will be easy for people to at least hold people accountable. In 2020, that was the best way forward. But unfortunately, somehow it was politicized. The county was politicized. It made it impossible for everyone in their counties to participate, without having to bow to one person or to the other. Today is December 2024, and the last few weeks, few months, we've had arguments with comrades about what popular mobilization would be. A few comrades have suggested before, and I want to emphasize that the only way that Ambazonians, especially Ambazonians in the diaspora, can prove maturity enough that we are a people that are ripe for self-determination, that we are a people that can self-govern, as if we self-govern ourselves in the diaspora, in the various communities where we are based. That's the only proof. This whole idea that we will sit in the comfort of our workplaces, in our comfort of our homes, in the comfort of the cities where we are in the diaspora, and be trying to control people back at home, telling them what to do, or across the world telling them what to do, that is where the mistake is. But even if we are to coordinate affairs from around the world, the first place where we need to prove ourselves as comrades, we need to find each other, would be, we need to close rounds, would be in our various communities in the diaspora. If we can mobilize ourselves in our various communities in the diaspora, it doesn't matter from which group you come from, I come from. It doesn't matter which leader you want to pay allegiance to, I pay allegiance to. If we all mobilize our communities and pay allegiance to one thing, the right to self-determination of Ambazonia, if we put that as the only principle, guiding principle to community mobilization, and we mobilize our communities on those bases, there's a lot of reasons why community mobilization is going to be possible because of the because of the numerous opportunities that come with local advocacy. Over this weekend, the group that deliberated with myself, we would be releasing a white paper that we did, which is bringing a proposition to the struggle around community mobilization. And the paper would detail, some of those key things that we believe would, attract even those who did not want to belong to in the struggle to belong in the community organizing because they can see what is in it for them or for their immediate community or for their family members or for some people that they care about. Because the truth is, if we are organizing a struggle, if we are fighting a struggle and common people are not seeing what is in it for them, there will be apathy and they would keep, falling away when they don't see that their interests are being met, when they don't see that the people that they prefer are the ones that are being followed and all of that. We really, really need a change of mindset this 2025. And that change of mindset is going to come from a place where when we are having engagements, we should listen to each other. We should be able to we should be able to listen, especially to those who don't agree with us, and not listen to respond, but listen to understand where they are coming from. And the one thing, comrades, before I go, I would want to leave all of us again with is when we make arguments on concepts, when we make arguments on concepts like this evening it was about referendums and all of that. These concepts are not concepts that we Ambazonians have created. It's important that you back your arguments with facts. Is it something that has happened before? How did it happen? Can you bring examples and show people how it happened? And maybe now contextualize that because the context of Ambazonia is different, this is what you think, or it's just your fairy tale in your head and you just slept and you wake up with this bright shiny idea and you just want people to try it out. Because that's the problem at times when we are arguing around ideas and all of that. Some people just cook up things in their head and they want people to spend time on that. At least bring a track record of that idea. Has it been implemented before? Why do you think it would work for Ambazonia? Contextualize it, show people how it would work, how it would benefit the struggle, and all of that, so we don't waste our time. Anyway, comrades, it's nice to go and listen to Comrade PK's audio of 2020 December. Again, as you listen to this one, thanks, as Comrade Derric. It's December 4th, 2024, and hopefully we will get it right. We'll get it right this time.